Alright, let's dive into the fascinating dance of Venus and Saturn in synastry. Ever wondered why some relationships feel instantly destined, like you've known each other your entire lives? And why others, despite a powerful initial attraction, seem to hit a wall? Today, we're exploring the karmic connections, the challenges, and the ultimate potential for growth when Venus and Saturn lock into a relationship. This synastry pairing is a cosmic blend of passionate attraction and structured responsibility, a combination that can be either a potent force for long-term commitment or a breeding ground for misunderstandings. So buckle up, because we're about to unpack the celestial complexities of Venus and Saturn, and how they shape relationships. Now here's where it gets interesting. Venus, representing love, attraction, beauty, and pleasure, meets Saturn, the planet of discipline, responsibility, boundaries, and structure. The initial spark is often intense, a magnetic pull that can feel like destiny. You might get an immediate sense of familiarity, a feeling that you've known each other for a long time, with karmic roots, maybe even a past life connection. Both partners are likely to experience a deep desire for emotional closeness and unconditional acceptance. For example, Sarah, a Venus individual, might be immediately drawn to Mark, a Saturn individual, because she admires his maturity, wisdom, and dependable nature. The instant connection can feel incredible. But wait, there's a catch: the contrast in energies can create potential obstacles. Venus craves affection, spontaneity, and emotional expression, while Saturn values responsibility, stability, and approaches life with caution. This can lead to misunderstandings and friction. The Venus person might feel that the Saturn person withholds love, or perhaps that Saturn seems cold or overly critical. Think of it like this: Venus is a vibrant artist eager to paint a masterpiece, while Saturn is the architect who wants to ensure the foundation is rock solid. This difference can be challenging. On the other hand, Saturn, being the responsible one, might view Venus as impractical, too concerned with pleasure, or even naive. The more free-spirited Venus might feel restricted, their wings clipped by Saturn's need for structure. You're probably thinking, this sounds tough. Can it even work? Absolutely. But it requires conscious effort and mutual understanding. Take the example of John and Emily. John, a Saturn individual, is often viewed as stern and serious. Emily, the Venus person, might admire his maturity, but she might also perceive his sternness as criticism. In this scenario, open communication and compromise become crucial. They need to openly discuss feelings and expectations, find a middle ground between spontaneity and structure. This is the key. Consider the house placements, 1st and 7th house. Venus and Saturn can reveal a lot about self-expression versus partnership. The Venus person, who could be exuding charm, might find their self-expression impacted if Saturn is in the 1st house, which can make them appear reserved. Imagine Emily trying to express herself openly, while John, being the Saturn person in the 1st house, appears reserved. This might feel like a significant hurdle. Now, what about the 2nd and 8th houses? These can highlight challenges with shared values and resources. 4th and 10th houses? This can create stress between your home life and public image. Similarly, with the 5th and 11th houses, this dynamic can test romance, creativity, and fun. 6th and 12th houses? These could challenge daily routines. Even the 3rd and 9th, highlighting your ideas and beliefs, can create tension. It's important to remember that each of these synastry placements carries its own unique set of potential challenges and rewards. But it all goes back to the fundamental clash between Venus and Saturn. Communication, compromise, appreciation, and patience are essential. You're probably wondering, how can they overcome these differences and make the relationship work? Well, they both must approach the relationship as personal evolution. Saturn needs to examine any controlling tendencies and learn to applaud Venus's unique qualities. Imagine Saturn learning to loosen their grip and let go of the need to control every small detail. This means practicing letting go of small decisions, engaging in activities that promote spontaneity, and challenging their rigid thought patterns. Think of it as the architect realizing the importance of the artist's vision. Venus, in turn, must cultivate self-care and inner strength. For Venus, this means prioritizing self-care, focusing on emotional well-being, and recognizing their own worth, especially when feeling undervalued or criticized. Venus also needs to learn how to respect Saturn's need for structure and security. Imagine Venus, the free-spirited artist, taking a structured approach to some aspects of their life, like their finances or daily routines, to support the solid foundation Saturn is providing. Now, for a deeper dive into the specifics, success comes from asserting needs and compromising. They must openly discuss feelings and expectations and find a middle ground between spontaneity and structure. This can be achieved through open communication and by both partners prioritizing their emotional well-being. This is not easy. This relationship takes a considerable amount of maturity. Remember, a relationship with Venus and Saturn can work. And it can produce a formidable bond. The key lies in open communication and mutual respect. Now, the key lies in open communication and mutual respect. Each partner must understand the other's perspective and recognize that this is a process. Developing emotional availability is crucial. Stick around, at 7:30 I'll reveal the impact that transits have on this pairing. For Saturn, the key is understanding the fears that drive their cautiousness. They need to show appreciation and affection. You can do this through verbal appreciation, thoughtful gestures, and making time for shared activities. Saturn's willingness to grow is crucial. They must embrace change, which leads to a deeper understanding of each other. This builds a more profound intimacy. For Venus, this means learning to express their feelings honestly and openly, setting realistic expectations, and clearly communicating boundaries and limits. For example, consider a situation where the Saturn person feels that their need for structure is being dismissed. Venus, by communicating her needs, by offering a balance of structure and freedom, helps them feel secure. Learning to compromise and celebrate your differences is essential. Now let's talk about potential challenges. Passive aggression, stonewalling, and avoidance are all common pitfalls. Criticism, blame, and withholding affection can also damage the relationship. But even with these challenges, the Venus-Saturn dynamic also has a lot to offer. These difficulties, when faced and overcome, can lead to a lasting and enriching partnership. Think of it like two separate pieces of a puzzle that fit together. Saturn can provide the stability and structure that Venus often needs, and Venus can bring joy and spontaneity that Saturn may lack. With understanding and consistent effort, this relationship can become stronger than ever. The potential for self-improvement is another powerful aspect. Both partners have the opportunity to grow significantly. The Saturn person can learn to express their emotions more freely and embrace a more playful approach to life, while the Venus person can develop greater resilience and learn the importance of boundaries. For instance, imagine a situation where the Saturn person struggles to show warmth. Through conscious effort and by making an effort to be affectionate, they learn to step outside of their comfort zone and open up. Then they are able to overcome their natural inclination to be reserved, strengthening their relationship with Venus. Let's briefly touch on transits. Saturn transits to Venus often bring feelings of restriction or criticism. Pluto transits can highlight power struggles or intense emotional upheaval. Uranus transits can bring about unexpected changes. Jupiter transits, on the other hand, can bring periods of growth, harmony, and shared joy. Now, you're probably wondering, how can we make this work? You should focus on open and honest communication and compromise. Celebrate your differences. Appreciate each other's unique perspectives and strengths. Celebrate individual strengths and learn from one another. So, what's the takeaway? Venus and Saturn synastry, like any relationship, demands commitment, understanding, and consistent effort. Balancing each other's needs, understanding each other's perspective, acknowledging unique perspectives, and embracing individual strengths is key. Remember that with dedication, the difficulties faced can lead to a lasting and enriching partnership. The relationship can become stronger than ever. For more videos exploring astrology, relationship dynamics, and personal growth, subscribe to my channel. I regularly post content designed to help you navigate the complexities of life and relationships. And, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and let me know in the comments what other astrological topics you'd like me to cover. See you in the next one.